Root Alchemy didn't just make me feel better, it created a notable and documented shift in my life trajectory. I continued to perfect my process more and more over the next 30 days, and moreover, the next 10 years. Even though the process itself never changed, my understanding of it deepened. And as I learned new healing modalities, they would either confirm or enhance what I had already been learning and practicing in alchemy. Some mornings I only had little things that bothered me, so I would refer to my first tool, write it down, put down a positive affirmation underneath it, cross out the top one, and meditate on the affirmation. I would take note of how it made me feel, and how many more options and opportunities I would see when I focused on the affirmation. Going back to what Wayne Dyer said, what we focus on expands. Now on days that I woke up in absolute gratitude and bliss, I would write those down, and I called those checkpoints. These were positive manifestations that I didn't have to work for. These became more and more frequent over time. I noticed I went from having 5 bad days and 2 good days to having 5 good days and 2 days where I needed to face challenges. I liked that ratio. I also noticed that the things that used to bother me don't even show up on my radar anymore. Some pieces of lead are so small, they're not worth transmuting. They wouldn't even take my attention. It was like water off a duck's back. We simply honor them and let them go, moving on to whatever it is that will serve us best. In some cases, I simply look at challenges and say out loud, I choose the power of transmutation and snap my fingers. This allows me to perform alchemy instantly. I am no longer accidentally changing energy. I am now doing it with deliberate, empowered, focused intention. I'm beginning to see my relationships working, and my overall well-being is getting better. Where things get weird is when solutions begin to show up on their own, without my physical interaction of them. All I did was journal or choose transmutation. Now I'm starting to realize that internal energy work actually affects my external reality. Not just how I see things, but what manifests. This is why they say, be the change you want to see in the world. This is why they say, healing begins with us. This is why they say, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. We are all creators. We have inherited the ability to create from our Creator. It is not something we learn, it is something we are born with. It is an inherent power within our very DNA, our mind, our heart, and our soul. It's been 1 year, I'm still sober, I've been walking the path of alchemy, and I find myself at impact trainings. I put myself through all 7 levels into LMT3. After one of the days of training, I'm asleep in my bed, and I wake up to a massive Metatron's cube floating above my bed. It uses its own anatomy to show me the fractal construction of the entire universe, all the way from subatomic particles up to the multiverse and back down to human reality. Using circles and lines only, it shows me how all things are existing within a cycle and all things have a relationship or connection to something else. Nothing is linear and nothing is alone. We've been taught that life is linear, that challenges are linear, relationships are linear, but in all reality, nothing is, other than our connections between them. I ask if we're trapped in cycles, and it flips around, says no. The front side was blue, the back side was gold. It then uses its anatomy again to show me the map of how one transcends cycles, karma, and barriers. Before our conversation comes to an end, it tells me that it is time for me to become a teacher and to share this information with the world. I hesitate. Have you looked at my track record? I think you're at the wrong house, I said. The entity assured me that my sordid past, why I was perfect for this role. It's your past, your struggles, and your willingness to overcome them will give you a deeper understanding of what other people are going through. It has taught you empathy, compassion, and you naturally have a willingness to help others that make you a well-suited teacher. Furthermore, you tend to bite off more than you can chew, but you see it through anyway, so we know you'll get this done. I look down, and my skin is glowing, and I feel like the information went straight past my brain into my bones. I don't have any other way to explain it. From there, I start writing my first book. A year and a half later, I complete my trainings at LMT3. The next year, I discover the law of creation. Energy times action equals creation. Much like the law of cause and effect, however, this factors in our intentions. I go on to become a Reiki Master teacher. I then go on to create Soulworks Decals, my sacred geometry sticker company, which I would later on successfully distribute to 25 stores in Utah, Colorado, California, and Nevada, then gift that company to my son when he turns 18. I then had my first ayahuasca journey. As a side note, as a recovered addict, I was a little hesitant to get into a medicine journey. However, years later I would learn the difference between drugs and medicine, which I will cover in another course, where I encountered Metatron again, and I was able to use the Root Alchemy process in my ayahuasca journey. But rather than writing it on paper, I was opening and closing portals at will, seeing the energies I needed to transmute in real time, in 3D or 5D, however you want to put it. I was interacting with all of my old relationships and closing old karma loops. I was told that karma is not good or bad, it is simply unfinished business. Rather than just purging the energy or running from it, I got to face it, transmute it, and heal every relationship, including the one with my son. My father had just passed away from cancer a few months before. I didn't see him here, but I would meet him in another medicine journey 7 years later. After I transmuted the karma, I asked Metatron why he had put me up to this. It seemed like it was a much larger responsibility than I had thought when I accepted the mission. He took out a golden scroll and unrolled it. It hit the ground and rolled for another 20 feet. I saw every challenge that I'd ever signed up for in my life contract, and at the bottom, my signature. This is where accountability hit me on a whole new level. I came to this world knowing what I was getting myself into. He then went on to explain to me, although I had many chances to become a villain, a victim, or even a martyr, or quit and leave the game, I chose to be a teacher and a loving person. The fact that I stayed here was a testament to my own strength and character. I spent the rest of the night crying tears of appreciation and joy. Realizations of that magnitude while you're under the effects of medicine hit you on a soul level that only a few understand. That night changed the way I look at relationships forever. A year later, I fell in love, and her and I created Vibe Bottle. Soon after, I would live on the road with my girlfriend and her son for a year and a half as we went on the Teach Peace tour. We taught sacred geometry classes and Root Alchemy, sold our stickers and bottles to keep food on the table and gas in the RV. In 2020, I had my fourth shamanic initiatory crisis, in which I had to face my childhood trauma and ancestral trauma. By using microdosing and Root Alchemy combined, I call this the hardware-software upgrade. I navigated through it and healed myself in 10 months, rather than 4 years. I came back a different person. I flew to Austin where I was certified as a psychedelic facilitator and began leading medicine journeys. In 2022, I facilitated over 150 journeys, Reiki sessions, and coaching sessions. Even though my prior businesses were somewhat in alignment with my purpose, they were also distractions from what I was supposed to be doing with my life, and that is teaching. I then created Lucid Earth Education, accepted my mantle as a shaman, and here we are today. I hope my story serves as an example for others that no matter how broken you feel, you can always heal. That no matter how dark things get, you can always find a light. And no matter how lost you may feel, you can always find your way home. Root Alchemy helped me through my healing. Anyone who's done any amount of inner healing work knows that some things are healed and some things require peeling back of layers one after another, year after year. Root Alchemy helped me through my healing, but it also helped me through my ascension. As I evolved, as I launched new projects and new companies, as I built new relationships and created new opportunities, as I had new ideas and broke through new boundaries. In every occasion, love was always the answer, and sometimes just plain surrender. Whether you are using Root Alchemy to heal the past or overcome the barriers of the future, challenges will arise and you will have the opportunity to turn it into gold. Now you know where Root Alchemy came from. You have a map, a compass, and a guide. Don't let this opportunity go to waste. Use it wisely. And my hope for you is for you to do it in a lot fewer steps with a lot less challenge, but to still gain the lessons and take yourself to places that no one ever dreamed. I'm confident you will be able to shift your life. My hope is that no one has to be on a journey as arduous as mine. And those who've been on journeys that are more difficult than mine, my heart is with you. I can't imagine what you've been through or how it feels, but what I can promise you is you are stronger than your past. You are stronger than your mind. You are stronger than the spells and the negative self-talk and the viruses. You are light. You are an alchemist. With more lead, you can create more gold. Thank you for listening. Thank you for walking this path with me, and may we find many blessings on our journey.